Okay. Welcome to our September 2025 Yolo County Fire Safe Council meeting. Our chair has had some technical issues, so I'm starting off the meeting, and the first action is to approve the agenda for this meeting.
And Laddish of IHSS Advisory Committee will move to approve the agenda.
Thank you very much.
Don will second that motion.
Thank you very much. All in favor of passing this agenda?
Aye.
Awesome. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So the next item is approving the minutes from last month, August 27th, 2025. Any comments or changes?
Yeah, let's see. Yolo County IHSS Advisory Committee was in attendance.
Oh, we didn't have you on there?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. So can we approve those minutes with the addition of the IHSS who was actually in attendance?
I move to approve.
And I'll move to second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Okay.
And if it's okay if I just say, yes, voting members, please do actually vote.
Thank you.
Otherwise, you count as abstaining. So
good point. Yes, I did not call that.
How would one even know if there was an abstention?
An excellent question. Because that didn't get called.
That's right. I think it's unanimous.
Silence, thank you very much.
Counts as assent.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any announcements?
Yeah, I'll do an announcement. So Saturday, November 1st is going to be the Winter Salmon Festival in Rotary Park at the corner of Railroad Avenue and Main Street. And it's going to include a celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Pewter Creek Accord, as well as the annual return of the Fall Run Chinook salmon up Pewter Creek. So it's always a great time, and it's, a bunch of different agencies come together for it, agencies and organizations, Pewter Creek Council, the Solano County Water Agency, Yolo County RCD, Solano RCD, all sorts of good folks. So lots of good information, good booths, lots of good music, all sorts of good things.
Thank you. Yes, we will be there, and it is fun.
And I would put a little plug in for the band that is led by our own Kate Laddish, that the Pewter Creek Crawdads, I understand, will be putting in a little show there at that festival.
Well, I think we're at a Pewter Creek Council event that's adjacent to it, but yes, it's going to be thematic with our name. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, Jonathan, we're in announcements, as you may have figured.
Yep.
So now we're at our... Yeah, go.
First action.
Take it.
So agenda item number 5, action. Roadside fuel breaks in the Golden Bear neighborhood community, $18,700. On the Rumsey curve is $24,500, and see the attached maps, which are on the back side if you happen to print the agenda out or have them on screen. Or you're not sharing anything at the moment. Thank you.
I am now. Yes. So I can give you a little more details on this. We did, this is the Rumsey curve. It's kind of close. If an ember were to fall in this scraggly bunch of trees, it would be difficult to pass by for quite some time until they had all burned out. So we're proposing this shaded fuel break. The landowner is going to help with some of the work to keep the cost at an amount where we could just get an estimate. We don't have to go to bid. It's not very far, and most of the worst of it is right here. It goes down into this little glen and then on out. So it doesn't look that bad from the air, but when you're walking along the edge here, it's a very thick, scruffy mess. And we talked to Caltrans, to our local Caltrans folks, and they are down with providing traffic control because it's a blind curve. So that is the situation on the ground there. And then bear with me while I scroll down to Golden Bear. If you recall, it had been a priority to have a safe evacuation route for Golden Bear, and we were working on getting permission to cross over some PG&E property, and PG&E was on board, and then we had some landowner issues, and then PG&E sold the property to sort of a faceless corporation. So I haven't gotten, basically this could take a long time. So in the meantime, so here's Winters, Golden Bear. Now I'm going to zoom in. They do have an evacuation route planned. It's not as good as the one across the PG&E field, but it's basically going up this road, around this curve, and into through a fence and into a vineyard. But the road has some shrubs and scrubby trees along here, and a eucalyptus stand here, which we would raise and thin and clean up. And there's a big leaner in there too, so that one may get cleaned up. So that one was a little less days of work. So that would be the $18,700 estimate. And the landowner is very excited and will likely keep it quite clean after we've cleaned it up. So I also want to share the coordinator report. So the $24,500 would come out of the Cape Valley State Highway 16 fuel reduction line item, should you approve it. And then the 18,000, would come out of the Winters West Side buffers line item.
Yeah,
That's the information that as I know it.
that would have been my first question of exactly where the funds were coming, and they're coming out of sort of the designated funds, the funds designated for projects.
And then remember that those dollar amounts were sort of, they were guesses 3 years ago when we got the early action, or maybe it was 2 years ago. So, they're pretty fluid, but that's why you guys are here to steer the flow.
I should know this, but remind me what other projects were in the Winters West Side buffer. That includes the stuff along 128, right?
Well, it's that one. No, that one has its own item, which is its own item. So we had there's a big chunk of money in that, and that was happened before we were matched up with the Delta camp crew.
So then what else was slated to be in the Winters West Side buffer?
So there was that one, and we may spend more of that to get the work done if we can get a permit soon. And then there was the Dry Creek area, and I still need to coordinate with Chief Snyder and get out there and walk it, right against the western edge of town.
Yep.
And then we added
Arundo heaven there, yes.
Oh yeah, that's going to take some digging into to try to deal with that. But there is a big patch of veranda there that we would love to get rid of.
And Tanya, on that, the Dry Creek part, are you in conversation with Pewter Creek Council and Solano County Water Agency about the work that they have going on there?
No. That should come to one of your next resource agency meetings or research.
Natural Resources Commission. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Or actually, I'd reach out to Phil Stevens of Pewter Creek Council.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there's a Bureau of Reclamation funded.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. But basically, Ken, there is some big pots of money that can be used in West Winters. And then there was also the buffers around the north of town, but I went by there recently and there's a beautiful burn fire break on the north side that I'm assuming Winters Fire Department did. It looks great. And that was kind of on our list. And then it didn't seem like that big of a deal. And now it's done. So yeah, there's plenty of money in those pots.
I as someone who knows that area, I totally support that the creek project is a very worthwhile, high priority item of compared to those other things. That's a high risk corridor. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mark it as yes, enthusiasm.
I have a question on the Rumsey. It's just so clearing it, it's not cutting down everything, it's thinning it like you showed pictures of on other sites, or exactly what is the
It's so most
treatment?
of the trees there are a very shrubby, non-native cypress or juniper, and then there's a few really nice oaks in there. So the oaks will be limbed up and given more room. The thinner trees, the smaller diameter ones will be removed, and then the larger ones will also be limbed up. So it'll just
Okay.
be, a shaded field break.
Okay, thank you.
Tanya, actually, I'm really glad that you brought up what types of trees are there during the tunnel fire in the Berkeley Oakland Hills in 1991. The street where the majority of deaths were it was a combination of cypress and especially juniper, I think, on both sides, and flames were just arcing between them because they're just so flammable.
They're scary.
And so, so I don't know if the landowner would be amenable to removing just like the really high danger vegetation and leaving the oaks. Since it's an escape route, I get nervous about having those trees on an escape route.
Yeah, I'm not that attached to those trees because they're not native and there are some beautiful oaks in there. So yeah, that's something that we can talk about. Where did that go? I know I've actually been noticing that curve ever since I started paying attention to fire stuff. And here we are back at the Rumsey curve. There's also another row here of the same kind of trees. They're under a power line, so I've reached out to PG&E to see if there's anything that they might do. They tend to top trees and then they die, which makes it worse, but we'll just see what they say. But that's not included. That could be a little bit down the road, but on the other side is not as scruffy and it's straight. So yeah, again, props to the valley oaks, not so much to whatever those non-native trees are there.
Oh, and I think I got confused when I was saying I thought the junipers and all that were on the Encina Road, but wherever they are, I think it's
there's some
good.
flammable ones there too. There's
out.
some really scraggly, pitchy pine trees and some eucalyptus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're kind of leaning over.
Can I ask a question? I think we'll all agree these are valuable projects and that creek project, especially in winters when we get around to it. But from a layperson's point of view, how do we describe to folks why it costs $18,000 or $20,000 for this kind of project?
Yeah, I can show you the estimates from the arborist, but they basically do it by day and they have a big crew and they have equipment and they have well, they have people and equipment. So I mean, I'm happy to share the estimates if you want to see them. I just have to dig them out.
No, I was just curious. That's helpful. So it's basically
It's just, yeah, it's expensive. And it is the local arborist that we've been working with. So they have the benefit of working with them is that they don't have as much, their mobilization is less expensive than someone from, we've got folks from Oroville and Sacramento, it's a bigger haul to get over here, whereas these guys are in Esparto, so they can just pop over.
It ends up being a lot of biomass, and it's to be chipped.
Yeah, so they'll chip it and haul it off. Actually, in the Rumsey curve, they're gonna leave it, maybe not all of it, but put some of it on that bank because it is pretty steep. And so, we want to mulch it so that it isn't a bare bank eroding into the ditch. But yeah, people and equipment and insurance are expensive. But I did have a titch of sticker shock myself, Don. So but yeah, they usually do their estimates by day. So then they estimate how many days they think they'll be working and go from there.
Well, could I move that we approve this?
You may, if we're here's the estimate of
Yes, they've got crew trucks, chipper dump, big chipper, excavator, fire ready water trailer if they're working, now.
Right.
And then they're estimating 2 to 3 days.
So do we want to? Oh, this is the
This is for the Golden Bear one,
one.
but
Yeah.
that's how those look. So they're all priced out.
Yep. Yeah. We have a motion. Do we want to look at the Rumsey, or do we want to have more discussion, or do we have a second? And we can have more discussion after.
I would second. Was your motion to have both approved at once in one vote?
Yes, that was my motion. Approve this project.
I would second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other questions or discussion?
Just enthusiasm.
Okay, very good. I hadn't heard any objections on quorum. I think we've got 24 participants, I believe. But Allie was probably checking on that. And if not, I'd say
24.
We have 9 voting members in attendance right now.
That is a quorum, correct?
I'm running my mind.
But it's a different number needed, like if we were to have it vote for a new chair or change the bylaws.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just approval of
Project approval.
projects that are within the scope of the project plan and not a massive change. So I believe we can call the question unless there's other discussion about that.
And if you want, I mean, we could take the vote, and then I could go look in the bylaws and see if we're if we're legal with that. And if not, we could just revisit it next month, I guess, or call a special meeting to try to do it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is on getting these started, but
before it starts raining.
Yeah.
Or next year.
Right. Yeah, somewhere where we're whatever. But if there isn't any more discussion, I'll go ahead and call the question. And give everybody a moment to, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
Oh, and Jonathan, you also have to ask for abstentions.
Thank you.
I didn't abstain, but I didn't get off mute fast enough to vote aye. So there we go.
Thank you.
Okay. So no abstentions? I'll listen for a moment. All right, it appears to carry. Thank you.
And I just checked the bylaws, and it's a 2/3 majority of voting members present for regular business. So I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Got to remember that.
I know we always forget that. That's kind of important.
For future reference, that means if we have 3 people here, 2 people could vote and money could be allocated.
Wait, so what, Allie, you were looking at how we establish a quorum for regular business. Is that what it is?
Yes.
All right, so 2/3 of voting members present means a quorum. Okay, and what how many members do we have?
We have right now we have 22 members, but we have a couple that are not in good standing, meaning they haven't attended consecutive meetings.
Yeah.
So yeah, but total voting members, we have 22.
And so wait, but if we just have 9 voting members present,
it's of the voting members that are present at the meeting, not for entire voting members.
But yeah, back to Don's point, there could just be 3 voting members. I guess at what point do we not have a meeting?
well, right. Yeah. Yeah.
So is there nothing in the bylaws that specifies what is adequate to have a meeting in the first place?
I thought there was. I can take a look too.
Boy, so much work went into these bylaws too. That was
they're good
several
bylaws, we
meetings.
thought.
Is the I'll just ask quickly, is the adopted version on our website so I don't have to go looking through my computer?
No,
Yes, I can drop a link in the chat too.
Oh, okay, great.
I was gonna say I'll pull them up and put them on the screen too. It's a long time ago.
I rather like Kate's idea of doing this offline and coming back to the next meeting with
Okay.
Yeah,
We can also,
with a repeat if needed.
right. And at that point, we might want to address if we have some members who we either need to encourage to show up or we'll have to suspend.
Right. No, I mean, I think there's some like Winter Senior Apartments is,
they have not been
the
around
manager
for a
who was
while.
involved it left several years ago. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, clearing that item up, we're ready to move on to agenda item number 6, which is to consider assisting the Rumsey irrigation ditch and paying for the removal of a leaning tree to prevent fuels on the ground.
Right. So where we left it last time was we wanted a second estimate, which we did not get, but apparently it's a really large tree. So there's a good picture, and hopefully can you see this other picture with the sun in the background? And so basically the reason why we're even considering this, so it's obviously going to cause a lot of issues with the irrigation district infrastructure, but it's also going to mess up our nice shaded field break that we did there. So we can offer to go, to contribute some money to the Rumsey Irrigation District to have this taken care of. And interestingly, Luis and I are going to be up in that area tomorrow and with our registered professional forester, who's not an arborist, and we can swing by and look at it again. But apparently it's quite big. But I have not seen it in person.
Yeah, I wish I'd thought to bring a rope when I looked at it, but I'd need another person because it's right on the edge. Yeah, on the other side of that is now the drainage, where the grading is, where it goes under the water goes under the highway, or goes under the creek and eventually goes under the highway and comes back up. So they're what was it?
Oh, that's a good picture too.
Yeah.
Tanya, this is Elaine. I think the problem was that you had gotten an estimate that it was going to cost $10,000 to remove the tree, and we all thought that was a bit much.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had a tree removed. That's why I thought, well, we can just make a number and offer to support them and they can make up the difference.
Yeah.
Or not.
So, I was just going to ask, if we don't contribute, how well funded are they? Is it going to be any hardship for them to pick up the whole tab?
Don't know their finances. They're a small irrigation district. Actually, Jonathan, maybe you know more, or Micah know more about them.
For one, the decision is, if it comes down, it could do considerably more dollar damage. That would be very difficult to do. So the risk is not doing it and losing the dam or losing the siphon. But the reason it's so expensive is because of the angle of the tree and all those large limbs. Is it's going to require a lot of crane or boom work.
Yep.
And then while they can get access and they don't have to work in the creek, necessarily they can get equipment in there. It isn't the easiest area to work in either, but it's the risk of the tree falling on people while they're cutting it up that makes it expensive. The cost of the and how long it takes. And so I think it's gonna happen, because if it takes the dam out or the siphon that's underneath, although that siphon is on the other side, but it's the infrastructure of that root system. Yeah.
But on the question about Rumsey improvement, that is quite a big expense for them. They probably, I mean, I'm a member where it is very small. We're kind of operating on a shoestring and trying to save some money for some more major work we think is coming down the line. So all the help we could get, we would appreciate. On the other hand, it's our irrigation district, but where it can, if there's fire benefits with it and we could share in the cost, I know it would make it much more feasible and hopefully, manage to keep the irrigation district able to keep going.
So it's not obvious to me where the geometry of this in this picture. Where's the shaded fuel break that we're speaking of relative to the? Is that the red line that goes across there?
I don't know what that red line is.
I am
it's a
sorry.
little.
That might have been me. This is Karen Young. I was holding my phone in a strange way, and then when I looked at it,
You made a red line
I'm gonna try to delete those. Sorry about that, folks.
You can delete it. That's really weird.
The power you wield there.
I know, what the heck.
Since I've looked at it, it's right at the corner of where that fuel break is, because there is the natural drainage that's coming through, and then the irrigation ditch goes under the drainage and then under the highway.
So can you see my screen? Ignore that strange red line.
Yeah, I can see your cursor moving along.
Yeah, so there's the shaded fuel break that we did, and then it's right Here's the, let me turn off
Oh,
that.
that bridge? Is that bridge there right at the corner, the one we were looking across?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it. Okay.
Yeah, so, oh, it's
Got it.
here. It's right here.
Yeah.
I
So
can
it's not
turn that.
really, it's kind of at the corner. It's not really central to it, but it's a part of it. Yeah. Sounds reasonable, but I don't think we should take a majority share, but some share seems fair.
It's right here.
Yep.
So question it, so has it been decided that $10,000 is a reasonable amount to spend on, that's a reasonable estimate of what it would cost to remove that tree?
It sure
If you,
sounds like it to me for a difficult job like that, a really big tree.
Mm-hmm.
Just an ordinary drop of eucalyptus that's smaller than that is like 2,500, $3,000, and that was a couple of years ago. So with everything going up, that strikes me as totally in the ballpark. Maybe you could shop around to do better, but it's not exorbitant for sure.
Okay. That's what I needed to know, because it's shocking when you first hear it.
yeah,
Yeah, if you, I'd like to know at some point, because I've got a very large one on my property, and this is larger than that. What the actual circumference, and then the average diameter is. It's definitely one of the largest, and it's unfortunate it has to come, but it's uh, uh, apparently it's the angle has been increasing over years. So
I
So
see.
now
There are.
my
Let me.
next question is, so who is supposed to pay for this? I'm confused as to, we're paying for part of it and part of it is from where?
it's
the Rumsey Irrigation
Rumsey Water
District.
Users Association.
Oh, Rumsey Water Users.
Association is the formal name.
Association, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
we are supposed to
What kind
be
of
the
an
oldest,
entity is that?
it's I don't know, it's a nonprofit irrigation district. It's supposedly the oldest private irrigation district in at least the state and maybe the country. It does supply water comes out of Clear Lake and is brought down and provides water for, I'd say, North Rumsey and down into a little bit south, North Gwenda. And it is completely financed by the users at this point.
Okay.
1876, if I remember correctly, was when that was first established and has been in operation.
Okay, so the users are the ones that are basically paying for it if we don't contribute anything. So what is our reasoning for contributing to it?
Because it's going to fall on our shaded fuel break that we did, or at least a tiny corner of it here.
Okay.
That was with a thinking a Goodwill ask, and that they're very supportive of the work and quite happy, but it was a major expense and thought.
Right. Okay.
And as I said, any portion of that is, it's going to be spread out among the members, or it's one of those things. The budget gets determined each year, and they figure out what everybody has to pay.
Right.
And I'm heartened that Tracy has in the chat that she says it's not an unreasonable cost. And I figured Tracy knows a whole lot more about that than I definitely do. So thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, it just, like I said, it's shocking, when you hear that figure for a stupid tree. But it is what it is.
Can I think out of the box here for a second? So you go to some of these really historic trees that people are willing to die for, and a lot of times when the lower branches at least are slumping dangerously, they prop them up. And this is a beautiful tree. I wonder if the arborist or forester or somebody could consider the alternative of dropping a diagonal strut of steel, really high strength steel, right, to prop it up instead of taking it out and save the value of the oak and also protect the ditch. Now that might end up being more than taking the tree out. I don't know, but it seems like an alternative that would also have forestry benefits.
Definitely out of my
Architect friend of mine said there is no problem that can't be solved with enough steel and concrete.
I think the thing that I would worry about is that the root system, it's so close to the whatever that thing is. What do you call it?
Siphon.
Siphon. So close to that siphon that it isn't going to be much longer, and it's probably going to really affect it.
Someone who farms there said he's been watching it for years, and that the angle has it has been a concern, but that angle has and it's one of those things like would be really nice if you took a picture of it every year, but who thinks to do that?
I understand what Ken is saying, though, and if you're going to be visiting with this person, I don't know if they're a person qualified to say anything about that, but to ask the question doesn't hurt anything, and to preserve large, nice oaks is often a nice thing to do. But I also think, with the roots there and the water, maybe, and it's been doing this over time, it may be a kind of chaotic thing to do. So
yeah, I consider it more as preventive maintenance, if you will. Why wait till it gets to be a serious problem? Because it is too. Who's kidding who? It's too close to it. It's just too close. So okay, so now my next question is, what's the proposal for sharing the cost? Does anybody have a proposal?
no.
No.
I mean, the group could come up, someone could throw out a dollar figure and we could wrangle about that. We can also, wait till next meeting because we do only have 15 minutes left in this meeting. We have some reports as well.
Yeah.
And we could request that they get a second estimate if that makes us feel more comfortable, or the Rumsey Irrigation District might feel more comfortable with a second estimate as well.
Well, and if we get a second estimate, I mean, let's include Ken's idea about,
Support.
is there a way? Yeah, is there a way to support and save the tree, and how much would that cost? And if there's not, then we know, but we've asked.
Yeah.
So we're gonna I don't know if we have to. Do we necessarily need a vote on it to propose to suspend? I guess the best thing would be vote, take it up at the next meeting with more information.
Right. I think we
Table it.
continue it for the next meeting.
Next meeting.
Will
No.
somebody express to Rumsey water users that they get that they come forward with a proposal that has costs, and what they would propose is to share?
Yeah, was it 10,500 the original, if I remember, Tanya?
I just heard 10,000.
10,000. It might have just been 10,000, 2,500 a day for or whatever it was, at up to 4 days, and yeah.
Well, we need to know the total. I mean, we should know the total, and I think it would be appropriate for the irrigation district to come out with a proposal as to how much they would like us to chip in.
That seems very reasonable.
Yes. Yeah, and I agree, because I think that the Fire Safe Council shouldn't automatically assume the full cost of this.
I think if you just eyeballing this, the exposure, what our exposure is in terms of the shaded fuel break relative to their exposure in terms of their infrastructure, ours is less.
Yes.
Yeah, if it goes down, it's cleanup. If it ruins the infrastructure, then it's the concrete repair and cleanup. So,
And that's big money.
yeah, and as somebody who's going to eventually pay for some of it, I'm trying to abstain as yeah.
Can you be the person that asks
I can ask
them for the proposal and second bit or second estimate?
Yep.
And Tanya, can you give us some idea, not this time, but next time, some idea of where the money's going to come from? What are we pulling it from? What
It
are
would
we
be that
sacrificing?
the Rumsey buffer pot.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
love that red line through everything. Yeah, the Rumsey buffer. So we have a few thousands in that.
Okay.
I can do
So
more
it doesn't sound so it doesn't sound like it would be that much of a sacrifice for us. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. How much of a sacrifice can we afford?
Well, we still have next quarter I'll tally up for my quarter and we'll know how much we have left in the whole grant.
Okay.
But right now we're over halfway through, so we still have like 350, roughly 350,000 left.
Okay. Yeah, all of that information would be helpful.
Okay. Okay, well, I'd like to see the proposal from the water users, and then we can get something tighter for the Fire Safe Council. But let's move on to our reports, if you guys don't mind.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
That's your.
So, Chief Privet is here for our first report from CAL FIRE.
Good morning or afternoon. There's really nothing much to report, except for we tied in the other day and going over what you just showed with the folks online tonight about the projects, and then see what we can do once it's fire season's over. Everything's kind of calmed down a little bit. All the crews are back home, except for a strike team of crews went to TGU this morning, and then a strike team of dozers went to TGU for a fire they had up there. But it's pretty much contained or controlled, and then they're just mopping it up there. That's about it. There's nothing much I have left more to report.
No news is good news. Thank you. Chris from OES.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So this upcoming Saturday, September 27th, OES, Happy Valley Fire, and Seavero will be hosting our first evacuation drill for the Rumsey area residents. Our goal is to kind of test out our Yolo platform, and sending a notification only to the opt-in members. So Seavero has been doing a big push out on their social media page to kind of get those residents signed up for Yolo alerts. The alert will be sent out at 10 a.m. and they'll be instructed to meet at the Gwindale Hall. There they'll be giving though Zero will collect some of the information, see how long it took to kind of collect that on their end, and they'll be giving an ice cream voucher. So we're hoping. So if you have any people or friends or family who live in the Rumsey area, please push them to sign up on Alert Yolo so they can go ahead and participate in the evacuation drill as well. Jonathan or I don't know if more is here. If you guys have anything else to add, thank you.
No, you covered it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Looking forward to hearing how that goes.
And then, sorry. So we're hoping this to be like a series going down the Cape Valley. So we're starting up with the north point of Yolo County, kind of moving down. So kind of seeing what we learned from this one and incorporating to the next one as we move down the valley. Thank you.
A question, have you decided when to resurrect the Disaster Services Council?
Yes, so we're working on scheduling a date. It goes before the year's over. We've just been busy with the incident in Esparto, but that'll be sent out shortly.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next is RCD reports, and I think I'm going to pass on all my stuff except to talk about planning. We're really working on trying to get some grazing cooperatives going to put the power of reducing fuels in the hands of landowners. And we have a grazing school this Saturday, same time. So if you're in Rumsey, you should be evacuating. But everybody else, if you're interested in learning about small ruminant husbandry, we're going to have an awesome day in Winters along Buda Creek Road. And we have been pushing out flyers and such. So if you haven't signed up, please do. There's still some spaces. The space is limited because we don't want a huge crowd, but there's going to be goats and sheep to handle and learn about and getting excited about small animals because they're fun and they eat fuel. Next, I want to talk a little bit about a grant that Kate and Allie and I have been talking about. It's through the Coalitions and Collaboratives AIM grant. It's a block grant, and CAL FIRE is really focusing on home hardening, and that's a very different topic than what us restorationists and fuel reduction vegetation folks are used to. But we thought about building a very small replica of a hardened home next to just a scraggly home that could light on fire. And Allie's going to show you a picture for folks who, did it work?
Oh, there we go. Thanks.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask if you could.
So, we're learning about, there's a lot of organizations that will blow, right there's a demo that CAL FIRE did. They blow sparks around homes and see what ignites. And this is very well studied. But it's hard to imagine unless you've seen this video. And so we thought we would do these little demos that we'd put on a trailer. We could take it around to different communities and show people a hardened home versus a non-hardened home. So we're not going to show you the video now, but that's a good example. Like there's one that has cement at the base of zone 0, and then there's a bunch of mulch and vegetation and a wooden fence, which can move the flames to the home, et cetera, et cetera. So we thought we're curious to hear what folks might think about something like that. And that would be part of the grant. And I think part of it also may help folks with doing their own home hardening, but we're in the early stages. There's a webinar next week and we'll learn more about it. But we thought we'd share because it's pretty cool. And if you haven't seen these videos, they're fun to go on and look at. It's quite dramatic.
Yeah, these videos they're like really dramatic, and there are also some that show the difference in flashover based on if a fire gets inside, based on like what you have in there. Woo! And I'd be really excited for the Fire Safe Council to bring this sort of information to jurisdictions or areas when they're doing planning ahead of projects. I mean, like in Winters, there's the Farmstead project, the map was just approved, but the actual design hasn't been. And I know the Natural Resources Commission is, we voice support for Firewise approaches, but it'd be really great for, say, a planning commission or city council to get that sort of information and in a dramatic way that really makes it clear what a difference it makes. So,
Cool.
so with this proposal, would it be to actually just like construct these different little buildings and take them someplace and
They'd be on a
light
trailer.
them
so they
serially
could-
on fire?
No, we wouldn't light them. It would just
Okay,
be
okay, all right.
pointing out like here's a wooden fence next to a metal fence. This burns, this doesn't. Yeah. Tracy.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I'll be curious what you learn in the webinar because I think COCO funding comes from the Forest Service, which would fund fuels and not home hardening, which is the same issue with CAL FIRE, they're talking all about it, but they're not funding home hardening yet. So the good thing about COCO too is that you can they'll work with you on your proposal. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that.
Good
Yeah, we
tip. Thank you.
reviewed this because it just says mitigation on their overview, and there's not a ton of information out yet about this grant. So yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind, Tracy, because we probably should have led with that. We're not entirely sure that home hardening would fit under the grant, but we're hoping that we could make the case for it.
Yeah, I think I would ask that straight out. And especially if that you're selling it as this is education and this is all community education, that would obviously be the way to go. But it'll be interesting because, it's been a hard thing to get funded both from the feds and the state.
I think
Alternatively, I would say maybe reach out to the insurance industry if there's a foundation or anything like that, something they should fund. It might be interesting for Kate to look for something like that for funding.
Excellent idea.
You might want to reach out to Winters Joint Unified School District because I know at the high school ag site they build structures on demand. I mean, usually sheds for people, but this seems shed sized, and
that might be a way to sell it to COCO too, is to tie it in with the school and them as match and educating kids and adults.
Yeah.
Taking notes. Thank you.
I think it's a great idea, and we should be continuing to explore home hardening. So even if this grant doesn't work, I hope we can keep it in our sights and keep working on it.
Thank you.
Tanya, just a quick question. Are you talking about a full size or a miniature size?
A miniature on a small trailer that we could bring around our county and also share with other communities in the Lake Napa units.
Okay. Because
No, we don't have that. We don't have it in us to build a full size.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll be a mini. I'm moving on. Allie in the PBA update as well as outreach.
Yeah, I'll keep mine quick. Not much to report for the Prescribed Burn Association. We're hoping to have some fall burns that are open to volunteers, but those are still coming together. So I'll share those once we're ready for signups and have more logistical information. One big announcement is I think I've mentioned this in previous meetings. We were hosting a Fire Resilience Program 101 on October 1st, but we've decided to postpone it. We didn't get a ton of community interest. So we're going to move it to the springtime in hopes that, the upcoming wildfire season will encourage folks to sign up and we can do some more outreach for that. So that's one thing to note. And then as for our programs, our chipper program, we did host a chipper day on the 12th and we had 3 properties. I think they chipped like around 8 or 9 piles. There was couple properties in Winters and one in the actually I think it was in the Dunnigan Zamora area actually. And then for outreach, I put out a newsletter that hopefully y'all got to your inbox. And we're still trying to get those highway signs permitted to get those in the ground. So yeah, that's my update for now. Tracy, do you have a question?
Quick add that the first meeting of the new Yolo Solano joint steering committee for the 2 PBAs is happening October 3rd, and Karen may have some more to add to that. Pretty exciting.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. And then, Karen, you are up.
Yes. And I'm a little sad to see that my red lines disappeared. How that happened, I'm not able to delete them which I think is highly likely. Updates from Solano RCD are what?
You're kind of breaking up.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Is this any better?
Yes.
Okay. Updates from Solano RCD are fairly minimal right now. It's a quieter season on our end, but as previously noted with other folks, we do have the grazing school coming up this coming Saturday. Please do register if you're interested, or send your neighbors if you think they might be interested. We're excited to have also support from Higbee's down in Dixon for this event, so that's pretty great for to have them helping out with it. We've got, as you mentioned, Tracy, the first meeting for the Solano and Yolo Prescribed Burn Association's steering committee happening on October 3rd. And we'll be sending out communications afterwards to introduce those folks that are serving on the steering committee and how we're going to be incorporating their expertise into building up this prescribed fire community and planning more opportunities for participation and learning. That is more or less it. Aside from, I think I mentioned this previously, we've got our annual fall native plant sale coming up on Saturday, November 8th. And if you'd like to find some native plants that could fit nicely in a fire resilient garden, we hope to see you out at Solano Brewing Company from, I believe it's 12 to 4 p.m.
Great. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
So now we're on to Community Fire Safe Council reports, and in alphabetical order, I want to point out or introduce Megan Jepson from the Berryessa West Fire Safe Council, who's been listening in. Megan, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself or stay silent, but we're glad you're here. Usually we don't go over, but our tree discussion took some time. So Megan is here from the Berryessa West Fire Safe Council. Jonathan, do you have anything from the Cape Valley Fire Safe Council?
We were able to submit on behalf for the Firewise for the Gwenda and Rumsey area. The hours were submitted for to renew our application, and we've already covered the Severo. So
awesome, and that was 2 months early. So way to go. Yep. Napa is not here. Pleasant Valley, Leanne is here. Oh, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We just finished our California Fire Foundation grant and turned in the report. We're due on September 15th. We used up just about every dollar of the $15,000. And we went to the point where the last person we kind of did we'll do up to a certain amount of money, but then you can do the rest. And that seemed to work really well. All in all, it was somewhat of a hard sell to get people to sign on to this. And so I was scrambling at the end. I do have a question for you in Yolo County, though. Are you a fire risk reduction community? I believe you are. And was it through the RCD or was it through the Yolo County Fire Safe Council?
Are you talking about through CAL FIRE, the FRRCL or
reduction community.
Yeah, we did that.
The application.
We did that through I'd have to look back at the application, but the RCD applied. I don't think we labeled it as Yolo County Fire Safe Council. We just did it through the RCD.
Just through the RCD.
Mm-hmm.
Leanne, you're kind of breaking up, so.
I said thank you.
Okay. And last but definitely not least, Ken is here from the West Winters Fire Safe Council.
All right, closing out with a whimper here. We're continuing to work on our Firewise community application. It's coming together pretty nicely. We're getting hard numbers and got some draft text and so forth. Feeling good about that. And a quick shout out to Tanya and her allies in the grazing sales pitch world. We've gotten some considerable excitement from many of our homeowners, especially in Golden Bear. And so there'll be some of us going to that grazing school on Saturday, I hear. And it's and there's also excitement of a different sort that a neighbor of ours who's not quite in our catch zone actually keeps some animals, and she would be willing to share them into a cooperative, which got everyone very excited at our last meeting. And that's the news from West Winters.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thanks for hanging in there a little bit past 5, everyone. I'm going to turn it back over to Jonathan.
Okay. I think at this point, we're just looking for where we need to meet in October. Got plenty of items. Hopefully we continue to have, everything goes well. So the next meeting will be at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, October 22nd. So I'm looking for a motion and a second to close the meeting.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Oh, second.
We got 2 seconds and a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Hey.
The only other comment I'll make is next time we can reverse the order from reverse alphabetical for the Fire Safe Council reports.
That'll keep us on our toes.
I support that heartily.